Get ready to buckle up because today's scoop is a wild ride. Just when you thought the story couldn't get more tangled, shocking evidence has emerged that points to none other than Steve Harvey in the ongoing saga involving Shirley Strawberry's husband. Could the beloved TV personality be more deeply entangled in the scandal than we ever suspected? Stick around to find out.
And, some people say deservedly so because he cheated. He had a beautiful family and he cheated and lost his family.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. Today, we're diving deeper into the twisting tale surrounding Shirley Strawberry, her husband Ernesto, and now, shockingly, Steve Harvey. That's right, folks. The legendary comedian and TV host isn't just on the sidelines of this drama. I've got fresh evidence suggesting he had a hand in more than just a matchmaking role for Shirley and Ernesto. Plus, there's a shocking twist. The prosecutor's office suspects Steve might have been trying to help Ernesto flee the country under a false identity. Believe me, you don't want to miss the juicy details I'm about to spill.
I can tell you flat out, but in the court of public opinion, it don't matter.
Shirley Strawberry, well-versed in juggling roles as a radio host, actor, writer, and TV star, is now facing a barrage of negative press. This is mostly because of her husband, Ernesto Williams, who is currently caught up in a whirlwind of serious issues. Shirley isn't a stranger to fame. Remember her riveting performances on The Monique Show, or her engrossing pieces on The Strawberry Letter? Not to mention her standout acting in Media Goes to Jail. She is undoubtedly a woman of many talents, dominating multiple media platforms with her distinctive style.
Sometimes when your friends or people you love are going through it and they start talking, sometimes they just want you to listen. They don't want your opinion.
But now, Ernesto, her husband, is proving to be a thorn in her public image. He's been dubbed a deadbeat tenant, allegedly owing a chunk of unpaid rent and damages.
I would also request that there be an ankle monitor placed on Mr. Williams, as well as that have no internet access at all and no contact with any minors.
He's also accused of orchestrating a fraud scheme and stealing $1 million. Worse yet, he's accused of something much more heinous, sexually abusing underages.
He's considered dangerous.
What's shocking is the alleged involvement of Steve Harvey, Shirley's boss and co-host. Known for his comedic persona, Harvey is now suspected of playing a part in this sordid affair, accused of concealing Ernesto's crimes. It is rumored that they are close friends, which could have influenced Harvey's decision to shield him. Steve Harvey's role in this scandal has escalated the public's shock. Accusations suggest he aided Ernesto in dodging the law, even supposedly offering his Abu Dhabi residence as a sanctuary. A prison-intercepted call between Ernesto and his wife hinted at a plan to hide Ernesto in Harvey's mansion.
We have a call where he was talking with his wife about going to stay in her boss's house. I'm going to leave out all the names here, as Mr. Lewis did as well.
It seems far-fetched that such discussions would take place without Harvey's knowledge. In fact, insiders intimate that Harvey might have even planned to help Ernesto escape, complete with a forged passport and a new identity in a different country. Ernesto's sullied reputation isn't a recent development. His criminal past, including convictions for fraud and armed robbery, already points to a dubious character. His ties with Shirley, they raise eyebrows. The crux of this story is the alleged complicity of Steve Harvey in Ernesto's wrongdoings. The claim is that he not only knew about the crimes, but also facilitated Ernesto because of their friendship. It appears both men have been manipulating Shirley Strawberry to their advantage. Ernesto's bail hearing brought some hair-raising claims to light. The prosecutor hinted at tapped phone conversations involving a few folks, Ernesto's alleged side chick, his wife, and other individuals.
We consider this person to be a flight risk. We have jail calls where he's talking about going to see his girlfriend.
But that's not all. Allegedly, Ernesto was cooking up plans to vamoose from Atlanta to Florida with his side chick. A phone call with his wife even mentioned her boss's Steve Harvey, maybe? Second home in Abu Dhabi as a potential hideout for Ernesto. Steve Harvey and Ernesto aren't just acquaintances. They go way back. In fact, it was Steve who introduced Shirley to Ernesto, going as far as escorting her down the aisle at their wedding. Let's not forget, it was on the Steve Harvey and Shirley show that Ernesto popped the question to Shirley.
For those of you that's listening, a man is walking in the room.
But why would Steve go to such lengths to cover for Ernesto? Well, there's friendship and loyalty, sure, but money seems to be a significant factor too. Ernesto's business, Ernesto Cuts, has been booming in the men's cosmetics industry for over 20 years now. Insiders and police sources suggest that Steve has a piece of this profitable pie. After all, Steve's a businessman first, comedian second. It wouldn't be far-fetched to think that he's in cahoots with Ernesto, sharing the business and its reward.
It just don't matter. A dude, I don't give a damn what you say.
With this revelation, the picture becomes a bit clearer. Now we understand why Steve might have wanted to shield Ernesto, and how Shirley managed to cough up a whopping $800,000 for Ernesto's bail. That's pocket change for a man like Steve Harvey. Moreover, it's apparent that Steve's keen on keeping his ties with a criminal under wraps, lest it tarnish his public image of a devoted family man and Christian. And it seems Shirley's been advised, likely by Steve, to keep mom about the whole ordeal. She's not talking, and all traces of Ernesto on her social media have vanished. Even a video she posted accusing Ernesto of domestic abuse has been wiped clean from the internet.
That's a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that Shirley's the real victim in all of this. Cornered on one side by her husband and on the other by her boss, Steve Harvey, she's being manipulated and left voiceless. Before getting entangled with Ernesto, Shirley Strawberry was already making waves in the broadcasting world. Her resume boasted over 2.5 decades of experience, a hit show, and a Nyack Pep Image award-winning book.
I don't mind them being out because sometimes you want to be free. Sometimes you want to be free.
There.
But despite her professional success, Shirley found herself in a love drought. It had been over 5 years since she last dated seriously, and she realized it was time to prioritize her personal life and make room for a relationship.
You don't have to experience something to know that it's not good for you. I mean, I don't have to jump on the subway train and get hit to know that.
Shirley's faith reassured her that God would deliver the right man into her life. Still, she knew it would take more than just prayer. She recalls, "I wanted a relationship, but I wasn't putting any effort into it and made no room in my life for a man. I had faith that God was going to send me a man, but what was I doing? You can't go home every weekend and just sit there. You have to put yourself in the game. Faith without works is dead." So Shirley started making changes. She revamped her diet, started working out, and deepened her spiritual relationship through prayer. She even invested in her appearance and was learning to love herself. Enter Ernesto, a friend of Steve Harvey who apparently took a liking to her. Despite knowing what Ernesto was like, Steve played Cupid. One might even suspect that this wasn't merely a coincidence, but a calculated move. Consider this. Steve was well aware of Shirley's quest for love and could have potentially influenced her to consider Ernesto. Why would he do that? Well, perhaps this was all part of a bigger plot to expand their business empire. Remember, Shirley co-owned the hit show. After she got hitched to Ernesto, Steve effectively gained control over the entire show. Shirley was now tethered to the show through her marriage, making it hard for her to just up and leave. In this light, Steve's matchmaking could very well have been a shrewd business maneuver to consolidate power over the show, and in the process, Shirley got caught up in a situation that she never signed up for. Shirley and Ernesto's relationship, once brimming with love and support, is now tainted with deceit. A little reminder for those who've missed out on the details. Around a year ago, Roswell police busted Ernesto Williams and Erica King for orchestrating $1 million con where they scammed people out of their money by posing as experts.
Well, more than a dozen people scammed out of $1 million. 2 people have been arrested on a number of fraud charges.
The 2 suspects, Ernesto and Erica, promised their expertise to gullible folks who paid them hefty sums, only to be left high and dry. The officer in charge reported over a dozen victims and losses exceeding $1 million in money and property.
Paid good money for their services, but walked away with nothing. Police say it was all a scam.
Digging into their fiscal records, the investigation unraveled an elaborate business fraud. The findings were damning enough to press multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and theft against Ernesto Williams and Miss King. This wasn't a simple oversight, but a sophisticated scheme that shook everyone involved. And as the police began unraveling this web of deceit, other crimes committed by Ernesto came to light.
Before the 13th, there's going to be about 15 plus more warrants coming his direction, serious felonies in there.
Gradually, in addition to the theft of $1 million, charges of possessing unregistered firearms, psychoactive substances, and acts of violence against minors emerged. Shockingly, among his victims were Shirley's own children and grandchildren. All of this unfolds against the backdrop of Ernesto's previous criminal record. According to a police source, considering the extensive list of crimes, Ernesto could face a sentence ranging from 25 years to life imprisonment. So Ernesto wasn't a stranger to the wrong side of the law, and given his tight-knit relationship with Steve Harvey, questions were bound to be raised about their possible collaboration. Could it have been a side hustle of Ernesto's that went south? It's possible. But considering their closeness, it seems unlikely that Steve was entirely oblivious to it. However, the extent of his involvement, if any, remains uncertain. All we know for sure is that Steve was at least aware of Ernesto's activities. But hey, now that I've dished out all the sizzling details, I want to know what you think. Do you believe Steve Harvey is involved in this scandal as the evidence suggests? And how do you think this will affect Shirley, given that she is caught in the middle of it all? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your thoughts and opinions, so don't hold back. Thank you all for tuning in and joining me on this wild ride through the fascinating world of celebrity rumors. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates. Until next time, stay curious, stay entertained, and keep those comments coming. Peace out.